Hello, I'm Dustin. This beginning level yoga sequence is intended for people who are experiencing low back pain and discomfort, and especially when that pain is contributed or coupled with sitting a lot. There's a lot of reasons your low back could be hurting, but if you're sitting a lot and your back is hurting, it's likely because your psoas major is tight or locked, and or because the pecs are tight, the chest is tight, pulling your shoulders forward and then changing the pressure in your spine. So let's take a moment to just quickly learn or remember the psoas major. This muscle is a wide band of muscle that starts from the inner side of the femur bone, and it goes over your pubic bone. It crosses diagonally through your body to the 5th lumbar spine. It goes all the way up to the 12th thoracic spine, so all the way up to this last floating rib. Essentially, it's 2 bands of muscle that go from your inner thighs all the way up to your solar plexus. And what it does is that it flexes. It flexes or rounds your low back, and it flexes your femur bones, like when you're walking or when you're sitting. So we'll spend our time focusing on lengthening and softening this area, opening the chest by engaging the muscle between your shoulder blades and the muscle at the top line of the shoulder blades. We'll need some props for this. We definitely need a strap. If you don't have a strap, use a belt or use a towel. Have this set aside. If you are using a strap, it doesn't need to have a loop in it. Okay, we need a block if you have it. If you have it, great. If you don't have a block, no problem. Instead, grab a blanket. Fold up the blanket so that it has about 2 or 3 inches, that it's firm and that will support your weight. So once you have your strap and blanket or block, come to sit in a cross-legged position. Using the block or blanket to sit on allows your pelvis to be higher than your knees, which will in turn help you to neutralize your pelvis and your spine. To neutralize your pelvis, take a moment to find where your sitting bones are. Be slightly forward of your sitting bones so that you have the natural curve in your lumbar spine. Bring your hands to your belly. Close your eyes. First, come into your own bodily presence. Begin to feel and breathe. Begin to expand your breath in your belly. Exaggerate the movement of the breath in your belly so that on your inhales, your belly expands into your hands, and on your exhales, your belly pulls back towards your spine. When you exaggerate the movement of the breath in your belly in this way, notice how it affects your pelvis. You might find your pelvis beginning to rock forward and back. It's like a small cow-cat movement. Here's what it looks like from the side. The inhale, your tailbone flips back. The exhale, your tailbone tucks under. Inhale into your belly. Tilt your pelvis forward. Exhale, pull your belly back. Tilt your pelvis back. Do a couple more on your own. It's important to notice the edge of discomfort. Right when you start to touch the edge of discomfort, pause and then move on. You'll begin to notice that through repetition, that edge of discomfort moves further and further out, and your range of motion can increase without force. This is especially important if you're dealing with pain. After your next exhale, come back to the middle so that your sitting bones are neutral. Hold your rib cage with your hands. Breathe in. Exhale, side bend to your right. Feel your ear heavy. Expand the left side of your body. Inhale, come back to the middle. Exhale, side bend to your left. Continue on your own, using your breath to move. Keep your shoulders facing forward and your sitting bones on your block or blanket. Go to your own degree, but not further, not past your available range of motion. The next time you do the left side, pause and come to the middle. On your exhale, turn to your right. Place your left hand on your right knee. Look over your right shoulder. Press your left shin into the floor. Inhale, come to the middle. And exhale, turn the opposite direction. Press your right shin into the floor. Continue with your own breath. Allow your movement to be soft but direct. Be really conscious of sensation so that you know that you're not moving past your own edge. Resist the urge to crank on this twist. Use instead the muscle around your core, middle body. Inhale, come back to the middle after you've done the left side. And exhale, simply feel the effect of your actions. Perhaps feeling a little bit more warmth, a movement of blood and energy in the region of the psoas. Next, we'll come to lay on the back. If you're using a blanket, you don't have a block, put the blanket down first, right in the middle of your mat. You'll put your pelvis on the blanket. If you have a block instead, lay onto your back first, and then put the block underneath your pelvis. It's important that your block is not on your low back, but on the back of your pelvis, at the top of your glutes. Once you're there, hug your left knee into your chest and lengthen your right leg out long. Keep your right kneecap pointing upward. Press your right thigh towards the floor, and on each exhale, draw your belly back and let your left knee move further away from your right knee. Continue to breathe deeply into your belly so that it expands on the inhale. Remember the location of the psoas major. Feel your breath moving into that area from your right upper thigh all the way up to your solar plexus. Imagine that you are lengthening it, but not stretching like a rubber band. Instead, think of that band of muscle as softening and expanding, broadening. Let one more breath in. And on your exhale, plant both feet on the floor. Take a moment just to feel the effects. Notice any changes of temperature. Change sides. Hug your right knee into your chest. Lengthen your left leg out long. Point your left kneecap up. On your exhales, gently draw your belly back and move your right knee away from your left knee. Thigh into your chest. Press your left thigh down towards the floor to help maximize the opening of your psoas major. And observe the changes that are happening. little adjustments in your pelvic halves, changes in temperature, which indicate a change in how prana is circulating in that part of your body. Let your breath be soft and reflective of the action you wish to accomplish, not forced, not strained, relaxed and open, strong and direct. After your next exhale, plant both feet on the floor and again observe the change of temperature so that you can notice more circulation of your own fluids and energy. Press into the floor, lift your hips and set the block or blanket aside. Lengthen your left leg onto the floor. Press your right foot down. Move your right knee forward over your toes and let your right hip lift up. On your exhale, let your right hip fall down. The inhale can press. The exhale can fall. You're trying to articulate or differentiate the pelvic halves so that if there's any misalignment between the two halves, we can balance it. After you've done it 5 times or so, change sides, lengthen your right leg out long, press your left foot down to lift your left hip up. Careful that your knee doesn't fall in, make it go over your toes. Inhales lift, and exhales fall. Let your whole body be kind of like a rag doll, shifting from the strength of your leg. And again, do 3 to 5 times, or more if you wish. Plant both feet on the floor. See what it feels like in your pelvis, if there's been any change yet. Bring your arms by your sides. Bring your feet close enough that you can touch your heels with your fingertips or so. Inhale, dynamic bridge. Press down into the floor through your feet. Lift your hips. Bring your arms all the way overhead. On your exhale, slowly lower vertebra by vertebra. Bring your arms down. Land your arms and your hips at the same time. Continue on your own. When you lift, it's important that you engage your glutes and your hamstrings. To do that, press into the floor more strongly through your heels. Isometrically contract your hamstrings by pulling your feet in the direction of your head. The movement doesn't have to be big. We're simply trying to engage the muscle of the back body. After you've done it 3 to 5 times, lay back down. Hug your knees in, hold your knees with your hands. Circulate your knees in one direction. Both legs go in the same direction. And feel your pelvis making a circle like a clock. Go in the opposite direction. Use this to loosen your low back, the joints in your pelvis, and low belly. Enjoy. Roll onto your side. Go into a tabletop position. Point your index fingers forward. Put your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Inhale, cow pose. Pause and breathe here. Imagine someone were holding your hips. Try to pull your chest forward away from your pelvis. You'll feel your hands need to press down and drag isometrically back. Do this to keep length in your lumbar spine rather than crunching into a back bend. On an exhale, cat pose. Press down, tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Pause and breathe here for a moment. Again, just go to the very edge of sensation. Notice that edge change over time by itself through repetition and with breath, but never through force. Flow it. Inhale, cow pose. Pull your chest forward, stabilize your hips. Exhale, cat pose. Tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Continue on your own. Use your arms here to pull your chest forward. When you round your back, move your shoulder blades away from each other. Do one more round. The size is up to you. Doesn't have to be big. After your next cat, come to a neutral tabletop. The place in between cow and cat. Tuck your toes, inhale. Exhale, hover tabletop. Lift your knees a couple inches off the floor. Press the pads of your fingertips into the floor to engage your wrists and forearms. Pull your low belly back, keeping your core body engaged, and a bend in your knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press back. Keep this generous bend in your knees so that you can bring your belly onto your thighs, deepening the crease in your hip flexors so that you can lift and open your tail and sit bones. Hug your upper arms towards each other and keep your head about in line with your arms. Let a breath in. And on an exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. Pull your low belly back to assist in the lengthening and stabilization of your low spine. In ragdoll, keep a bend in your knees so that you can keep a deep crease in your hips. Press your heels isometrically down and out. Feel your inner thighs spiral a little bit back and widen your sit bones. Let a breath in all the way down to your belly, to your sides, and to your low back. Bring your hands to your thighs. Bend your knees, tuck your chin and roll up. Move your knees forward. Keep moving your knees forward, and the roll up will be more effortless. Push into the floor through both feet to extend the rest of your spine. If you have a block, grab your block. Now is when we'll use the strap or towel. If you are using a block, put the block between your thighs. Just because of my own proportions in this particular exercise, I like to have mine the middle ways, so it's about 6 inches between my legs. Take your strap or towel, put it behind your back. Hold it so that your palms are facing forward and that your hands are about shoulder width distance apart. Lift your shoulders up and roll them back. Concentrate on the muscle between your shoulder blades. Engage that and feel your chest opening. Now pull on the strap as if you're trying to break it in half. Start to feel the muscle of the top of your shoulder blades engage. This is rotating your upper arms out. Now, without letting your shoulder heads fall forward, begin to move your arms away from your body. Keep pulling on the strap. Continue to hug your shoulder blades together. And we'll multitask here. Now bend your knees. Sit your hips back in chair pose. Go to your own depth until you feel an engagement in your glutes. Increase that engagement by pressing down into the floor through your heels. Draw your low belly back to lengthen and protect your spine. Feel the muscle around your low spine engaging. Let a breath in. On your exhale, keep hold of the strap, fold over your legs, lengthen your legs any degree and let your head hang. Now let your arms fall further away from your body. You might even walk your hands a little bit closer together now. Keep your arms as far away from your body as they are now. Bend your knees and return to the chair pose. Keeping your arms far back, pull on the strap. Engage the muscle between your shoulder blades and along the top of your shoulder blades. Draw your low belly back and breathe into your chest. Breathe in. Hug the block if you have it. Exhale, release. Set your props aside. Take a moment and just notice how you feel so that you can actually digest what you've done. digesting through awareness. Place your feet at least a little wider than hip width distance apart and start to swing your arms. You can let the opposite heel lift up. Your gaze can be forward, or you can turn with the whole spine, your choice. Continue to breathe and loosen any holding, any tension around your spine. Gradually, take the gas off and go back to stillness. And come to stand at the top of your mat if you're not there already. Imagine, bring your arms by your side and turn your palms to face back. Bring your arms overhead. Okay. Imagine a triangle from your navel to your armpits. Stretch your armpits up away from your navel. Now imagine a long, bigger triangle from your palms to your navel. Right? Stretch that triangle. And to stretch that triangle even more, you need to go up and slightly back. Keep your weight balanced in the front and the back of your feet. Keep your pelvis neutral, both sitting bones pointing down. Just stretch from your navel up. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands on your thighs, bend your knees, fold forward. Let your head hang heavy and relax your spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Use your hands on your upper thighs to assist. A flat back, pause. Like in cow pose, reach your chest forward away from your hips. Engage the muscle in your low back. Breathe in. Exhale again, fold forward. Plant your hands, step your right foot back into a low lunge. Bring your back knee down. If you need extra padding, put a blanket under your knee, or you can fold your mat in. A little trick of the trade there. Put your left hand on your left thigh, reach your right arm high. Keep your back toes tucked so you can push into the floor. Engage your right glute and feel your right hip turn forward to maximize the opening of your hip flexor. Lean a little bit forward and push into the floor through your left foot. You don't need to go back, you could, but mostly we're thinking of length, going up. Lengthen your right hand up away from your hip. Bring your attention to the location of the psoas major. Send your breath there. The intention of softening it and widening it. Breathe in. Now exhale, plant both hands on the floor inside of your left foot. Walk your hands to your right and point your right toes now back. Lengthen your left leg out long. Come to stand on your right knee and turn your left toes up. Point your pelvis on a diagonal so that your left leg is on a diagonal to your body, not directly side. Inhale, reach your right arm high. Exhale, gate pose, go up, stay there, or go up and over, any degree. Push into the floor through your right shin to help draw your tailbone underneath you. That way you're not in a back bend at all, but in a true side bend. On each inhale, let your right ribs open. Let your right waist expand. Inhale. And keep circling down. Exhale, plant your hands on the floor again. Put the sole of your left foot on the floor. Put your right hand under your right shoulder. Inhale, twist, left arm high. Breathe here. Push into the floor through your foundation again to draw your tailbone underneath you. Feel how that lengthens your waist. Now concentrate on turning from your navel up. Your gaze can be down, out, or up. Breathe in and breathe out. Tabletop. However it makes sense for you to get there, facing in the original direction, come into a high plank from here. So I know it's a bummer, but one of the best ways to help low back pain is to increase the strength of your core. I'm not just talking about your 8-pack, right? I'm also talking about this whole band of muscle, right, of the middle body. So you can do this with your knees on the floor if that feels better for you. Otherwise, reach your heels and your head away from each other. Try to feel your body in one long diagonal line. Push into the floor and move your shoulder blades away from each other. Press down into the pads of your fingers to help protect your wrists. Steady your gaze on one spot and let your body be still. Take a breath in. Use your knees on the floor if you want or need. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Brush your rib cage with your elbows. Once you come all the way down, separate your feet about hip-width distance apart. Press down through the shoelace side of your feet and feel how that also encourages a pressure through your pubic bone. Place your hands further back near your waist so that your wrists are underneath your elbows. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, cobra. Press through your legs. Lift your chest. Exhale, lower back down. Do 2 more on your own. Just going to the edge of sensation, but not further. Notice how that edge may begin to expand. The next time you come up, pause there. Keep the pressure down through the soles of your feet. Hug your shoulder blades towards each other, a similar action and feeling that we had when we were holding the strap. Draw your belly back to keep length and support of your low back. Breathe in. Exhale, child's pose. Press back. Bring your big toes to touch. Set your knees wide. Bring your hips towards your heels. You can rest your forehead on the floor or fold your arms and place your forehead on your forearms. Breathe wherever you are and relax completely. Any holding, any tension, any engagement around your spine. Let it go completely. Tabletop pose. Come back to all fours. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees. Feel that whole band of your middle body engage. Keep it engaged and exhale, downward facing dog with bent knees. Keep the deep bend in your knees and lift your tailbone high. Let a breath in. Push the floor away. And exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. Keep the bend in your knees. Place your hands on your thighs. With your head heavy, slowly roll up, move your knees forward. Use your legs to stand. This time, turn around, face the opposite way. Place your feet about hip-width distance apart. Your weight balanced right over the center of your feet and your pelvic floor right over that center of foot. With your palms facing back, inhale, reach your arms up. Stretch, get longer through the triangle, and exhale, stretch it back a little bit. Remember, try not to change the weight of your body and your feet. Try not to change the position of your pelvis. Keep drawing your tailbone down and stretch your hands away from your navel. Breathe in. And exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands on your thighs. You can bend your knees. Let your head hang heavy. Release your spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Like cow, reach your chest forward. Engage your low back. Use your legs. Push down into the floor. Exhale, fold forward. Low lunge. Step your left foot back. Bring your back knee down. Again, you can have it padding there as you need. Right hand on your right thigh, reach your left arm high. Okay, with your back toes tucked, use your foot to roll your left hip forward. Lean forward. Visualize where your psoas major is, this band from your upper leg to diaphragm, and let it open and expand. Reach your left hand up away from your left hip. Breathe in. And exhale, plant both hands inside of your right foot. Walk your hands to your left. Turn your right toes forward first, okay? And then come to stand on your left knee. Turn your right toes now up and turn your pelvis slightly to the right. Inhale, lift your left arm high. Exhale, Parigasana, gate pose, go up and then up and over. Again, go just to your edge. Once you get to your edge, you breathe in there. And on your exhale, see if you can soften. You go a little bit further. Even if no one on the outside can see, doesn't matter. We're going deeply into your own experience of sensation. Remember to press into the floor through your foundation so your tailbone is underneath you, not behind you. Inhale. And exhale, plant your hands. Walk them forward again. Put the sole of your right foot down. Inhale, lift your right hand high. Breathe. Press down. Draw your tailbone underneath you. Feel your waist lengthen and turn from your navel up. Push into the floor through your left hand to help open the front of your left shoulder and chest. Breathe in. And exhale. Plant your hands. Walk your hands to this original direction, tabletop. From tabletop, sit up plank, second set. Remember, you can always use your knees on the floor. Reach your head away from your heels. Press down, move your shoulder blades away from each other. Press your hands down and turn them isometrically away from each other. Pull your low belly in and feel your pelvic floor lift. Your tailbone can enter your body. Stay steady. Stay strong. Keep breathing. One more. Use your knees if you want or need. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Brush your rib cage with your elbows. Put the top of your forehead on the floor. Arrange your feet so they're about hip-width distance apart. Put your hands underneath your elbows so they're near your waist. Press down into the floor through your feet. Roll your shoulders back. Draw your belly back. This time, inhale, locust. Lift your legs. Lift your body. It doesn't have to be big. Remember, we're just trying to turn on the muscle of the back body. Feel the back of your legs, your glutes, the muscle along your entire spine engaged. Lift your hands off the floor and pull your shoulder blades towards each other. Stay steady. Breathe in. And exhale, child's pose. Press back. Take your time in this. I know that for me, if my low back is really talking, it takes a moment. You just sit back to your own degree. Go to your elbows. Stay there until your low back softens. Then go to the next part like this. And then once you get into your expression of child's pose, relax all engagement. Really, really let go at the back of your pelvis and along your spine. Boat pose. Swing your legs around. Plant your feet on the floor. If you do have a block, use it between your knees. If you don't have one, again, no problem. Hold behind your thighs. Lift your chest. Lean back until you start to feel your abdomen engage. Once you get there, stay there with your feet on the floor or lift your shins parallel to the floor. You can relax your feet. Hug your legs in towards the block or each other. You can keep your hands on the back of your legs if it helps to keep your chest lifting. Otherwise, reach your arms forward. Steady your gaze on one spot. Breathe consciously. Your breath will mostly only be able to move into your rib cage now because you really draw your belly back. But breathe, let your rib cage change shape with your inhales and exhales. Stay steady and take one more breath. Gentle lift of your pelvic floor as you draw your belly back. Bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together and your heels close to your perineum. If you find that when you do so, your pelvis rocks back and you're behind your sitting bones, please put your hands behind you. If you're in this position, your job is first to come on top of your sitting bones. Use your hands and roll your pelvis forward, your tailbone a little bit feeling back. If you're already here, then hold your feet, take a breath in, and exhale, lean forward. You can, if your proportions allow you, place your elbows on your inner thighs. Give a little bit of pressure of your elbows and legs together. Give a little bit of pressure of the pinky sides of your feet together. Let your feet open like a book and let your low back and sacrum widen. Let a breath in. All the way to your belly now. And let a breath out, softening where you can. Come back up to sit. Lengthen your legs out in front of you. Reach your arms forward. Put a little bend in your knees and slowly roll back. You can use your hands if there's pain, or you can simply come to your side and then come onto your back. Once you're down, lay onto your right side. So imagine that you were like in a chair and your legs are at 90-degree angles from each other and from your body. Lengthen your right arm out onto the floor, and you can let your head just kind of dangle off of your shoulder. Place your left palm on top of your right palm. Now I'm just going to change sides so that you can see the next part. Stay where you are. Begin to trace a big circle on the floor with your left hand, going up over your head like a big clock. Keep your hand on the floor as long as possible. Start to feel your chest opening, coming into a twist. Slow down with this part where your arm is on a high diagonal. Feel for a stretch in your chest, and whenever you feel that, pause. Like we did in that reach and standing, right? Reach your hand away from your navel. Draw your right hip away from your navel. It's expanding your waist. Let a breath in. Exhale, continue the circle until your arm gets out to the side. And relax there for a moment. Just let a breath in. Let a breath out, concentrating on the turn from your navel up. Come back onto your pelvis. Just take a moment and feel that. Any changes in temperature, any changes the feeling in your body. And then roll onto your left side. So laying on your left side, lengthen your left arm out. Put your right hand on top. Crawl, make a line on the floor with your fingers. A big circle overhead. Keep going until you start to come into a twist. Keep going until you start to feel that stretch in your chest. When you feel that stretch, turn that palm to face up. Right? Reach your palm away from your navel and reach your top hip away from your navel. Keep expanding that space using moderate effort. Not too much, not too little. Let a breath in. And on an exhale, continue the circle until you can get out to the side like a T where it's a little bit more effortless. Let a breath in there and let a breath out. Come back to lay on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Lengthen your left leg out long onto the floor. Reach your right foot towards the ceiling. Hold behind your right thigh or calf. It's okay if your leg is bent, doesn't have to look like mine. Push your leg into your hands. Push and try to feel your glute and hamstring engage. Let a breath in. And on an exhale, keep pushing and lift your head any degree. Feel your right low back moving into the floor, lengthening and widening that tissue. Breathe in. And on your exhale, lay down. So you can take your leg with you a little bit, increasing this to lengthen your hamstring. And bend your right knee. Hug your left knee into you. Switch legs. Lengthen your right leg out. Reach your right left foot towards the ceiling. Hold behind your leg anywhere that makes sense for you and push. Try again to feel this muscle right around the left sitting bone towards the left knee engaged. Keep that engaged and lift your head. Feel your left low back now lengthen and widen into the floor. Breathe in. And on an exhale, lay back down and see if you can take your leg with you. Bend your left knee. Hug both knees into your chest. Plant your feet on the floor. Take a moment and see how that feels in your pelvis and in your low back. Try to feel a balancing between the right and left sides. Roll onto your side so we can set up some props for Shavasana. If you're using a blanket, use that. Try to roll up your blanket so it's as thick as possible. And put this underneath your knees. Lay on your back with the blanket underneath your knees. If this still doesn't feel high enough for your knees, you can set the blanket aside, right? Plant your feet wide on the floor. Imagine the blanket's not here. Let your knees just move in towards each other. Wise. Turn your palms to face up now. Put your shoulder blades underneath your body so your chest is wide and open. Let your feet be hip-width distance apart and fall open. Close your eyes. Draw 3 circles of light around your body. Make a cocoon. Imagine that you could gather all of this healing energy inside of that cocoon and steep in it. Allow your body to breathe for you. Try not to shape your breath. Your breath has an intelligence of its own to balance itself. Bring your attention to where the psoas major is. In your mind's eye, draw the lines from your inner thighs on a diagonal all the way up to your diaphragm. Feel that band of muscle relaxed, open, wide. Shift your attention now just to the space between your navel and your pubic bone. Feel your breath there. Letting that whole area soften. That there's a widening and opening of your whole pelvic bowl. Begin to shape your breath again. Shape it so that it's long and smooth. Breathe all the way into your belly. Dissolve the circles of light from around you. Begin to take movements in the fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, and any other movements from there. It can be nice to plant your feet on the floor, set the blanket aside, and windshield wiper your knees side and side. You might hug your knees into your chest. I know for me, with my chronic low back pain, that even after laying in Shavasana, I need some adjustments from it. So if you hug your knees in and press your shins into your hands or forearms, you can re-engage the muscle around the area to stabilize it, to reawaken it. Okay, and then roll onto one either side and come to sit. Again, I would recommend to use a block or a blanket, though we won't be here for very long. It's a good habit to get into, a way of supporting yourself. How can we best support ourselves? And again, take a moment to neutralize your pelvis, sitting slightly forward of your sitting bones, the natural curves in your spine. Take a moment with your eyes closed. Go into sensation and just notice the effects of your practice. If there has been any changes, it's okay if you're maybe still feeling some tension, discomfort, or pain in your low back. Ideally, it's not a new tension or new pain. Yoga works, but it's not a pill that you can take and then magically all the pain and suffering is gone. It takes consistent practice. Over the last 20 years of my own chronic back pain, I've learned that this consistent and regular practice, softly moving, increasing my own awareness of sensation and of placement, increasing the strength of my core has really, really helped me. I sincerely hope that it helps you. May our health, our well-being, our strength and stability help us to show up for those who are in need. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Have a great day.